to the Ben and Skin Show, a sports talk revolution. Tell your peeps to tune in and join the movement. Grow the show, baby.
Love you. Yes, you're listening to the Ben and Skin Show, normally heard on this fine radio station from 9 to noon. 9 a.m. to noon is Ben and Skin time. We need your full 3 during that time. And today we're filling in for the greatness of Galloway and Company, and we're doing it with the star of GAC. The great Matt Mosley is here with us. Now, coming up a bit later in the show, Rick Carlisle joins us at 4:30. And we'll go behind enemy lines to talk about the Redskins from the Redskins' perspective. What's the latest on RG3 and that giant knee brace that's slowing him down? We'll find out at 4 o'clock. But now, let's bring on the original 88, the great Drew Pearson. Drew, appreciate you taking the time to jump on with us, and I want to dive right in with what is one of my favorite one of my favorite Redskin Cowboy stories. And it was the whole wreath story. Can you tell the story about Harvey Martin and the wreath and how all that went down?
Yeah, actually it was Thanksgiving 1974, and we were playing the Redskins. And, of course, back in the day, you know, we did a lot of talking. We weren't afraid or afraid about what we said, being on bulletin boards and riling our opponents and that type of thing. We did a lot of talking because the guys that we played against were always the same guys there year in and year out. So the rivalry was very intense at that time, and the Redskins had predicted that they were going to knock Staubach out of the football game, and that was Darren Talbert who made that prediction. And they also had, during the week, because Harvey Martin had been doing a lot of talking, they also had, during the week, sent Harvey Martin a funeral wreath indicating that they were going to beat the Cowboys, kick dirt on us, and attend our funeral. And so Harvey, you know, he was a pretty intense guy, my roommate and all that kind of stuff. And, boy, he really was offended by this, and it fired him up. He had one of his best games ever as a Dallas Cowboy. And then after that game, as they did knock Staubach out of the game, but, of course, Clinton Longley came in and threw 2 touchdowns in the final quarter to help us win. So after that game, Harvey had taken that wreath. He carried that wreath everywhere he went. Once he got that wreath on a Wednesday in the locker room, he kept it by his locker. He, when practice was over, he put it in his car. The next day, he brings the wreath back in. And even the night before, in our room, because we stayed at the Holiday Inn over there at Regal Road that night, in our room, he had that wreath in our room. We go to the game, he carries the wreath to the game, and he has it sitting in front of his locker as he gets ready for the game. And the wreath sitting in the locker throughout the game. So we beat them, of course. And after the game, the first thing Harvey does, he grabs the wreath, he takes it out of our locker room and walks down to the Redskins locker room, opens the door, and says, "Here's something for your own funeral." He throws the wreath into the Redskins locker room and slams the door and left. And that's the story of the wreath.
So great. Talking to Drew Pearson here on the Ben and Skin Show, ESPN Dallas 103.3 FM. And, you know, Drew, as you were telling that story, I looked over at Matt, and I think old Matt got inspired. Matt, you seem to be pretty fired up by that.
I love it when Drew, it's like bedtime stories. Drew, will you tell me some more, like just one-on-one this evening if I call you? I know you got some great ones.
Well, man, why don't you call me in the morning? I'm a little busy this evening.
Well played, Drew. Hey, so Harvey was a bad man. I mean, it just seems like if somebody walked in your locker room and threw a wreath in, you might chase him out in the hallway and have words with him. But nobody was interested in doing that with old Harvey, were they?
Oh, no, not at all. Harvey was he was a general guy. He was like a Jekyll and Hyde off the field, the nicest guy you want to meet and all that. And you know, they called him the beautiful Harvey Martin and everything. But, man, in preparing for a football game and then playing in a football game, you know, there's nobody more intense. And, again, I was his roommate on the road, and sometimes we stayed in hotels for home games. But on the road, you know, it was very difficult for me to get any sleep because all night long, Harvey is just fuming and watching tape, watching film, eating food, just couldn't go to sleep because he was so worked up to play the game. And I would have to lay in there with covers over my head. Sometimes I'd go in the bathroom and sleep in the tub. and things like that. Harvey was so fired up, and eventually I had to get my own room because I couldn't get any rest. And I was like, tell Harvey, all you got to do is grab that guy across from you, dance with him a little bit, and then try to get to the quarterback. But I got to run all day to do what I got to do. So, but yeah, he was an intense football player and a guy that, you know, played the game like it was supposed to be played, and he had all the accolades to support that for sure.
More on Drew's bubble baths in a moment. Drew, do you think Dez Bryant deserved to be in the Pro Bowl? And by him not making it, though, could that be a good thing? Where do you stand on all that?
No, I think he deserves to be there, and, you know, I don't think it would be, it's not a good thing that he's not. You know, he earned that right, and I think one guy on that list, Victor Cruz, he pretty much made it off his reputation. He didn't have a Pro Bowl year. He didn't have a better season than Dez Bryant, but Dez should be right there with Brandon Marshall and Calvin Johnson and those other guys that made it. But I think it's a good thing in regard to that Dez needs to know that no matter what he's done, it's still not enough. You know, he's got to prove to people that he can do it on a consistent basis, and not just half of a season, but throughout a whole season.
Drew, before we let you bounce, you know, the Cowboys defense has been shredded by injuries. RG3, we're not sure how healthy he is. Obviously, he engineered a win last week. Is this Cowboy defense in the state it's in going to be able to contain RG3 if, let's say, he's close to the health he was Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, you know, I think that's the optimum word, contain. We just need to contain him. I don't think we can stop him, but just contain him enough. Take something away, the threat of running or the big plays downfield or something. I think, if I recall last game, we kind of came with mostly a three-man pass rush, let him try to have people in the secondary and see if RG3 can, you know, read the defenses and throw to the right receivers. But, you know, that kind of backfired because it's not that he was trying to read the defenses and throw to the right receivers. He was throwing over and beyond the defense. And, you know, our big problem with the injuries is our play with our safeties. So, you know, that's got to be a concern. But I would not come with a three-man pass rush. I would try to do some things to make him think a little and take some of that confidence that he has right now away from him by, well, I said this before and I got in a lot of trouble. You know, you got to knock him around a little bit. I don't know why people made such a big story out of it. Drew Pearson says we got to rough up RG3. Hey, this is football.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you
I
expect
think the Redskins want to rough up Tony Romo a little bit as well? That's just part of the game. But now you say something now, of course, with Downeygate and all that kind of stuff, you say something and people always refer to that deal.
Yeah, and I'm hearing Goodell might fine you for that comment, so we'll keep you posted as soon as that breaks.
Trouble if he could find me.
Okay, so
Bring it on.
yeah. Okay, so our inside sources in history tell us something, and I'm not sure that this is the case, but we were told earlier this is the 37th anniversary of the Hail Mary. Is that accurate?
Yeah, today, yeah. It's the Hail Mary Day. So I'm looking forward to one day just being a national holiday. And give some guys the day off and that type of thing. Banks close and post office shut down and that deal. But no, this is the day. 12/28/75 is when I caught the Hail Mary. So this is the day, man.
Well, happy anniversary.
Happy Hail Mary Day.
Absolutely. Happy anniversary to you. The play looked completely clean to me. I didn't see any shoving, any pushing at all.
Nah, no way.
Perfectly executed, perfectly drawn up. Well done. Hey, you're a class act. Thanks for jumping on with us, Drew.
You got it. Hey, Mosley, I'll see you on February 26th. Okay?
Yes. That is great news.
So disappointed about this. I thought he was going to turn his back on that.
No, man, the Kaufman Chamber of Commerce, be advised. The banquet we've all been waiting on. Drew Pearson has found a way to open up his schedule to be with us the 26th at the cafetorium there in Kaufman. It's where we used to have it. I don't know.
That's like a cafeteria and an auditorium combo?
We put it together. We got a great new podium for old Drew to stand on. It's going to be wonderful.
Biggest regret of your career, Drew. Congratulations for committing to that.
Take me down. It's all downhill from here.
All right, man. Take care, Drew.
Thanks, guys.
There he goes, the great Drew Pearson. All right, coming up, here's what we got coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Rick Carlisle at 4:30. He hates me and Mosley. Loves Skin. That's going to be.
He likes me.
He kind of dislikes you, but he hates me and Mosley.
Yeah.
We've got a Rogers Rangers report coming up at 4:15.
Why are you giggling?
It just seems like a funny name. We've never called anything that. I just saw it on the schedule here. And then we'll go.
It's starring Ben Baseball Ben. I'm very much looking forward to it.
We'll go behind enemy lines and visit with some folks from the Redskins media contingent and find out what's up with RG3 and that giant